recently, or 3 nights ago, or 3 days ago, I've had some issues, or basically, I've had some sort of like a weird bad feeling in the process. And what this weird feeling I had is the sense of guiltiness of not being able to tell the story ahead of time for those that may feel this certain aspect. And what this certain aspect I'm talking about is the thought of suicide. I personally, back in, I want to say when I was younger, back in 3rd grade when I was 9 years old, in the very pinnacle point, I almost killed myself there. 3rd grade, 9 years old, I would have ended my life at that time. And why did I say this? Or why did I even bring this up? Is one mystery that I try to unravel in the process. And basically, what happens is this. When I was little, I didn't know how to communicate to other people. I didn't know how to use words. So I end up using actions. I would hit people. I would kick. I remember the first kid I kicked, which made him fall. I literally didn't know how to communicate my feelings to other people, which made things worse. And that's why I got suspended in the process. I didn't get suspended, but I got in trouble to the point where my parents were being called by my principals. So what ended up happening is that when I got my parents, when I got the principal to call my parents, that also lead to disciplinary actions. So for me personally, I had this thought of suicide from that point forward. It was because it was this selfish thought that I had, which was to end my life and hope for the best that no one would really care. No one really cares about me. So why not just end my life and just try to end the problem? Because if the problem starts with me, then of course I can just end my problem easily just by taking my life away. And I've gotten to the point, it was from preschool and then up to 3rd grade. And then I remember one day I got back home from school, and what ended up happening was that I got into an argument. I got into an argument with my parents, and in the process, I thought I had it enough. So I decided to just go to the kitchen. As I walked to the kitchen, I kind of thought of this word, seppuku. And this word seppuku is a Japanese term for when samurais would end their life. Basically, if I know there's some kids out here as well that are watching, and I'm sorry you guys have to hear this, because I feel like you guys also may have had the same thoughts as I did as well in the process. And basically, that idea process was to just if I'm the problem, then might as well just end it. Why don't I just end it with myself? And I condone it though. I highly condone the thought of this, and I wish I never had that sort of thought, but unfortunately I did. I went through that. And I got to the point where I just went to the kitchen, like I said, and I saw a kitchen blade knife. It was pretty sharp. It was kind of a short, sharp blade. And in my mind at that time, it's what I can do is this. I can just stab myself and then just bleed to death, and just look as it is, like you would see in those Chinese dramas, or perhaps those drama stories that you see, like, and that's what I literally thought. I literally thought of doing that. But when I raised up the knife, I just felt something was holding me back. It was literally holding me back. I couldn't do it. Like 9 years old, I can't even do it. Like, why couldn't I? It's almost like the story of Isaac being sacrificed, about to be sacrificed by Abraham. Basically, Abraham brings him up to the mountain because God was then there to then wanted to test Abraham's faith. So then Abraham goes up to the mountain, and as he creates this altar, about to sacrifice Isaac, his son, his only son. He basically, like, God just out of the blue, just like basically says, stop, like, no. And basically he already proved his faith, and his faith was to believe in the things that is unseen. And I seriously thought of that. Like, it took me a while. Like, I think, like, it took me more than 10 years to just, like, reflect on that same situation that I had back in 3rd grade. And I felt like it was that same situation that occurred, and, like, I wanted to kill myself, and I couldn't. I just stopped. I just basically just froze right there and just pondered for a moment. It's like, why can't I even, like, continue on with this action? Seriously. And from that point forward, I somehow just decided to let go, and I placed back the knife back into the place that I took it out of, and ended up just running back upstairs to my room and just cried it out, because I just don't know how in the world, like, why, like, what am I doing? It's like, how in the world, like, can I not complete this action? And yet at the same time, like, why am I being restrained to do so? Like, what is even my purpose? Yeah, so it was just that one crazy moment. And then there were so many times where I even thought of jumping off the building. I thought of jumping off the bridge. I thought of jumping off the highest building. Because a lot of times when I got to my lowest point, I just never thought of other people. I just said, screw the world, let me just do my thing. If I'm the problem, then I'll end it. And I just didn't. Well, I know that there's someone out there that I guess didn't want me to. So, yeah. But definitely, now these are some of the solutions though, as well. If you guys are all feeling the similar, like, situation as I did, of course, like, right now you guys have the resources to do so. You have the internet. Basically, you can always search out for, like, suicide lifeline. And also, too, prayer. Prayer is also the best weapon, especially when the enemy is there to, like, say you can just end your life. It's so easy. The easiest, as it is written, basically the narrow path is the hardest path to walk through, or the narrow gate is the hardest path to walk through, whereas the widest path is where everyone can easily go through, and it's so easy, but then it just leads to devastation. So in aspects, definitely prayer, calling suicide helpline, finding friends. Friends are crucial. Friends that you trust. Friends that you are willing to, that both sides are willing to share their vulnerability. That is going to be the most crucial part of your life for the next 10, 20, 30 plus years ahead. Because if you don't have that one, if you don't have a friend that you can share the vulnerability to, it's really tough to let go of the things that you thought that is your problem, and you are in just being able to then comprehend, like, you have your life is unique. You guys have a lot more years ahead of me that I know you guys can do. You guys can definitely, like, I'm not exaggerating this, but you guys can definitely improve the current situation that we are all in. Maybe some of you will then find out ways to cure the virus or some sort, or maybe even find ways to also help nurture the younger ones, the younger generations that are to come, to become leaders that we need as of today. And the leaders as of today, they're older and they're sometimes out of whack. And it's just hard to comprehend nowadays. Literally. And I just want to say that you guys are much more valuable than you guys think. A lot more valuable. And I'm not exaggerating this point. And you guys, and for me personally, I learned through so many hard knocks that it just took me a while to like understand or cope the situation. So I hope you guys like find some helpful friends that don't, like, of course, that don't do drugs, that don't do alcohol, that are willing to take the time to open up and listen through. So yeah, definitely those are your key components. And also prayer is going to help out. I can never emphasize that enough. That's also brought me through, and God has sent me so many friends in the process. God has sent me people like you guys to come in to chat, I guess, in the process, to also share. So and I got to share this story because I don't want to die regretting not telling this to you all, and also to whoever is out there willing to watch this as well. So yeah, this was something that was bothering me for the past couple of days, and I needed to, and I feel like is the need to say it out, because just before our last breath, and